A heated moment on live television has reignited debates over political bias in mainstream media. During separate yet closely timed broadcasts, conservative commentator Karoline Levitt and liberal comedian Bill Maher took aim at longtime host Whoopi Goldberg, challenging her remarks on political objectivity and cultural discourse. What followed was a rare convergence of voices from opposite ends of the ideological spectrum, united momentarily in critique. The encounter sparked widespread reactions across media platforms, highlighting the ongoing tension between traditional TV personalities and a rapidly evolving political media landscape. Whoopi Goldberg, a co-host of the long-running ABC talk show The View, has become a prominent figure in American media over the years, known for her outspoken liberal views and cultural commentary. As the show blends entertainment with political discussion, it has often drawn criticism from conservative voices who accuse it of perpetuating partisan narratives under the guise of open dialogue. Goldberg, in particular, has not shied away from making controversial statements on topics ranging from race and politics to religion and social justice, often positioning herself as a voice for progressive America. Karoline Levitt, a rising Republican political figure and former communications staffer for the Trump administration, has increasingly emerged as a vocal critic of mainstream media outlets. Levitt has made several appearances on conservative news platforms where she criticizes what she calls liberal media hypocrisy and argues that outlets like The View are out of touch with ordinary Americans. Her confrontations with media figures have earned her attention, especially among younger conservative voters who see her as a fresh voice willing to confront established narratives. Meanwhile, Bill Maher, host of Real Time with Bill Maher on HBO, has carved a niche as a liberal icon, unafraid to criticize both the left and right. Over the past few years, Maher has grown increasingly vocal about his dissatisfaction with extreme progressivism and the perceived erosion of free speech in American culture. Though once firmly aligned with the Democratic Party, Maher now frequently takes aim at what he views as overreach by liberal institutions, including, at times, hosts like Goldberg. These three figures, each commanding a unique audience and ideological platform, came into rare public alignment following a week of contentious broadcasts and social media fallout, a moment that revealed the fragility of media consensus in the modern political age. The incident began with a segment on The View in which Whoopi Goldberg responded to criticism about the show's treatment of conservative guests. Goldberg defended the program's editorial tone, stating that not every viewpoint deserves a platform, especially when it spreads misinformation. Her comments were widely circulated online and interpreted by many on the right as a justification for silencing dissenting opinions. Social media commentators, conservative pundits, and Republican politicians quickly weighed in, accusing Goldberg and The View of pushing ideological censorship. Enter Karoline Levitt. During an appearance on Fox News shortly after Goldberg's remarks aired, Levitt directly addressed Goldberg's statement, calling it a dangerous perspective from someone with immense influence. Levitt went further, suggesting that Goldberg's framing of misinformation was selectively applied, pointing out past segments on The View that allegedly featured unverified or biased content. Levitt remarked, "Whoopi Goldberg claims to champion free thought, but she only seems to welcome voices that mirror her own. That's not discourse. That's ideological gatekeeping." Bill Maher, though politically opposite to Levitt, echoed similar concerns during his own broadcast. "I've been on The View. It's not exactly a bastion of open-mindedness," Maher said with a wry tone. He criticized Goldberg's blanket dismissal of viewpoints, warning that conflating disagreement with misinformation sets a troubling precedent. Once we start deciding which opinions are too dangerous to be heard, we're not protecting democracy. We're undermining it. What made the moment unusual was the ideological crossover. Maher, a liberal, and Levitt, a conservative, rarely find common ground, yet both voiced disapproval over Goldberg's apparent disregard for ideological diversity. The media quickly seized on the moment, with outlets on both the left and right offering varying interpretations. Some liberal commentators defended Goldberg, arguing that platforms must exercise editorial discretion in an era of rampant disinformation. Others warned that such an approach risks creating echo chambers that alienate large portions of the population. Clips of the exchanges circulated widely on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter, now X, with hashtags like Fana Whoopi Goldberg, Karoline Leavitt, and Bill Maher trending for over 24 hours. Debate segments on CNN and MSNBC attempted to contextualize the conflict, while conservative outlets like Newsmax and the Daily Wire framed it as proof of media bias against the political right. Across the spectrum, the convergence of Maher and Levitt's criticism was seen as symbolic of a broader dissatisfaction with entrenched media institutions. The discussion also prompted viewers and commentators to reflect on the role of mainstream TV talk shows in shaping public opinion. Shows like The View command millions of viewers and serve as cultural bellwethers for segments of the population, particularly women and older Americans. But the rise of independent media, podcasts, and politically driven social channels has challenged the dominance of these platforms, making moments of live confrontation all the more impactful. Following the broadcast, representatives from ABC issued a brief statement defending Goldberg's comments, emphasizing the show's right to determine its own editorial standards. The View is a platform for robust debate and discussion, the network noted. Our hosts are entitled to express their views as part of a diverse panel. The statement stopped short of addressing Levitt or Maher by name, a move some critics interpreted as avoidance. Karoline Levitt, for her part, capitalized on the moment. She shared the Fox News clip on her social media pages, writing, "Truth has no agenda. When people in power are afraid of opposing voices, it says more about them than it does about us." Her comments were met with strong support from conservative followers, but also drew criticism from liberal users who accused her of bad faith attacks. Bill Maher, always active in the aftermath of controversy, released a follow-up monologue on his YouTube channel clarifying his position. "I'm not saying every theory deserves airtime," Maher explained, "but we've become so afraid of hearing anything outside our bubble that we don't even know what we're fighting against anymore." His comments struck a chord with many centrist and independent viewers who are disillusioned with political tribalism. Other political commentators chimed in, including Meghan McCain, a former co-host of The View, who sided with Levitt and Maher, describing Goldberg's position as intellectually dishonest. On the left, figures like Joy Reid defended Goldberg, calling the backlash manufactured outrage from bad actors. Media analysts have noted that the incident reflects deeper shifts in how Americans consume and interpret news. According to Professor Alan Rosenthal, a media ethics expert at Columbia University, the clash underscores the difficulty traditional outlets face in maintaining credibility across a fragmented audience. The polarization of public discourse has turned even basic editorial decisions into political flashpoints, he said. Hosts like Goldberg are not just personalities, they are perceived as gatekeepers, which makes every statement they make disproportionately consequential. The convergence of critique from both Maher and Levitt points to a growing trend of ideological realignment, particularly around issues of free speech, platform control, and media integrity. While their motivations may differ, both figures reflect a broader skepticism toward legacy media, a sentiment that continues to gain traction among younger and more digitally native audiences. Some experts warn that these moments, while revealing, can also exacerbate divisions. When every disagreement becomes a viral event, it discourages nuance and encourages spectacle, noted Dr. Tasha Green, a political communications researcher. We risk mistaking performance for genuine dialogue. Yet others argue that such confrontations are necessary to challenge media complacency and force greater accountability. Regardless of interpretation, the episode has fueled ongoing debates about media responsibility, political diversity, and the role of television in a post-truth era. As viewers turn increasingly to alternative voices and platforms, the days of unchallenged media authority may be rapidly fading, replaced by a more volatile, but arguably more participatory, information landscape. The exchange between Karoline Levitt, Bill Maher, and Whoopi Goldberg has become more than a fleeting media skirmish. It represents a clash of ideologies, media styles, and the public's expectations of fairness and free speech in the modern age. If you found this story insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Alex News for more in-depth breakdowns of today's most pressing political and media conflicts. We deliver clear, fact-based narratives to help you make sense of a complex world. Stay informed, stay critical, and join the conversation in the comments below.